Muy buenos días para todas las personas que se unen a esta sesión informativa con University of Essex. Mi nombre es Karen Martínez, soy integrante del equipo de Consejería y Relaciones Internacionales de COLFUTURO y el objetivo principal de esta sesión es brindarles a todos ustedes aquella información fundamental si sus planes de estudios se encuentran encaminados en llevar a cabo un posgrado en esta institución académica. Queremos contarles también que estamos iniciando este mes de agosto con una gran variedad de webinars para todos ustedes, así que si tienen gran interés en conocer las universidades del Reino Unido e Irlanda con las que Colfuturo tiene convenio, este mes estaremos realizando sesiones como la del día de hoy para brindarles la información necesaria. Bueno, el día de hoy nos acompaña Emma Vargas. Ella es representante de esta institución y nos brindará información muy valiosa acerca de financiación, procesos de admisión, becas y recomendaciones en general para todos ustedes. En adición, abordaremos también aquella información relativa al convenio que tiene Colfuturo con esta universidad, que consta específicamente de una beca del 100% en el valor de la matrícula para un beneficiario de Colfuturo en programas de maestría y un descuento adicional del 25% en el valor de la matrícula para todos los beneficiarios de Colfuturo, a excepción de aquellos estudiantes en East 50 Acting School. Cabe mencionar pues que si tienen alguna pregunta o inquietud pueden escribirla en el cuadrito de Q&A y las responderemos a lo largo de la sesión. Así que sin más preámbulos, le daré la palabra a Emma. Emma, thank you so much for being here. You can go ahead and start your presentation.
Thank you. Perfect. So I'll just start by sharing my screen. Hopefully you can see that okay. Karen, just let me know if not. Otherwise, I'll make a start. Hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining this session. I hope it's okay that I'm going to deliver the session in English. I can guarantee that your English is going to be a lot better than my Spanish, so I hope that's okay. What I've done is prepared a presentation which is sort of a general introduction to the University of Essex and specifically postgraduate study, so you can get a feel of the courses that we offer and what the university is like from the perspective of a Latin American student. And of course, there's time at the end for Q&A. So if you have any questions, I'm very happy to answer those questions. And if there's time, I'll play you a video, which is sort of a campus tour of the university. So I thought it might be helpful before I tell you lots of information that's specific to Essex, if we started with why you might want to consider the UK as a destination, because I'm sure that you have lots of options and you might be thinking of other countries to study a master's qualification. So these are some of the reasons that the UK is a very popular destination with international students from all over the world who want to come and study at a postgraduate level. So for the most part, you will find that our master's degree are 1 year in length. There are some exceptions to that, but generally that you'll find the duration is 1 year or 12 months. Which is an advantage. It means that you can come and study with us, and within 12 months you'll have a qualification that is recognized internationally for the quality of the qualification. We're known very much in the UK globally for delivering degrees that are very well regarded in terms of the quality of research and the quality of teaching. So it's not just the quality of the teaching, but also the fact that we attract academics from all over the world who want to carry out research and teach our students. So we have a very good reputation. In terms of our support, there's an awful lot of support, especially for our international students. You'll find that universities in the UK generally have quite a high proportion of international students, and so we place a great deal of importance on making sure that those students are supported, whether that's academically, or with their mental health and well-being, or just physical support, whatever it might be. There's all sorts of different outlets for students can go to make sure that they feel supported. We have a very high completion rate. So I remember when I first started doing this job, supporting international students, I would be asked about completion rates. And honestly, I didn't really understand the question, because in the UK, it's very typical for students to complete the programme that they have committed to on time. And that's because of the prescriptive nature of our degree programs. So our completion rates are very, very high. It's very, very likely that if you come and study a master's in the UK, within 12 months, you will have that qualification. It's an amazing international experience. So of course, if you're coming to study in the UK, then you're going to be living in a new country and experiencing a new culture and way of living. But it's not just that adds to the international experience. It's the fact that you'll be living or it's very likely, especially at a university like Essex, that you'll be living with other international students that are from other parts of the world. And lots of our students use the experience of studying to travel whilst they're here. They'll spend their weekends exploring our neighbouring European countries to really get the most out of the experience whilst they're studying in the UK. We have very good employability statistics as well. Of course, if you're wanting to come and study in the UK, I would expect that you are investing in yourself and your employability. And this is something that universities are placing a huge amount of importance on, especially a university like Essex. We want you to be able to use the qualification to excel in whatever career choice you end up going into or staying in. There are opportunities whilst you're studying to work part-time, to get internships. So these are all things that you can do, which will add skills and improve your employability once you've graduated from university. And then once you've completed your degree, if you want to stay in the UK, we would love for you to stay. You can apply for a post-study work visa, which will allow you to stay for an additional 2 years once you've graduated. If you're thinking about doing a PhD qualification, you can actually stay for an additional 3 years and work when you're in the UK. So that's some very general information about the UK. I'm going to introduce you to the University of Essex, and hopefully this will be the university that you want to come and study your postgraduate qualification at. So this is a picture of the largest campus, which sits on 200 acres of very beautiful and award-winning parkland. And I know that you would think, of course I'm going to say it's beautiful, but I promise you, whenever students and their families come onto campus, one of the first things I always hear them say is just how beautiful and peaceful and pretty the campus feels. So this is the largest campus, and most of our students study at the Colchester campus. So if you're thinking about Essex as one of your choices, the chances are you're going to be located on this campus. It is like a traditional campus. It's purpose built, and it has everything that you could possibly need. It kind of feels like a mini city. So we have different housing options, so students can live on campus, and it's a very, very sociable place to live. So yeah, this is just a picture just to give you a sense of the green and spaciousness of the campus. So in terms of our location, the UK, we're a small country, and Essex is a county that's located in the southeast of the UK. So all three campuses are the Colchester campus, the South End campus, and the Loughton campus, are all located in the southeast within the county of Essex. And in my opinion, we are the perfect distance to London. So we're less than 1 hour to the city of London. So it's very, very easy to get into the city, but you do notice quite a big difference in living costs just being slightly outside of the city. So for me, it's perfect. I can hop on a train, and there are lots and lots of trains every hour that will get me into London, and within about 50 minutes I'm in the city. And then when I've had enough, or I've spent enough money, I can hop back on a train back to Colchester, which is where I live. A fun fact about Colchester is that it's the UK's oldest recorded town. We're a very, very small city, but it's very, very pretty. We're surrounded by lots of, in the city itself, there's lots of Roman architecture, and then there's obviously much more modern buildings as well. So it's a really lovely blend, and it has all the amenities, retail, bars, restaurants that you would expect a small city in the UK to have. So what I should say is we're not known for our glorious sunshine here in the UK, although we are having a bit of a heat wave at the moment, which we're struggling with, I'll be honest. But where we are located in the southeast, we do have some of the UK's best weather. But I love our location. Like I say, we're close to London. We're surrounded by the beautiful Essex coastline. So there are some really lovely beaches, some lovely villages and towns, and then the beautiful Essex countryside is very close by as well. So these are some of the reasons that you might want to consider postgraduate study at Essex. So at the university, we have over 19,000 students from all over the world. I'm going to talk to you in a little bit more detail about how international the university is. It's my favourite thing about Essex, so I can talk quite a long time about how international we are. But it is a great asset of ours that we have around 40% of our students from all over the world. We're a university that's ranked in the top 30 in the UK, so that's a ranking that we're very proud of. We have world-leading researchers and academics that come and study at our, that come and carry out research and teach at our university, which is, again, something we're very proud of, and something that our students are very lucky to be taught by these researchers and academics who are world-leading in their particular subject area. Our students have the opportunities, particularly our postgraduate students, to get experience speaking and attending at conferences. I was speaking to a student of ours who's from Brazil, and she was telling me about this amazing opportunity that she had just a few weeks ago, where she got to go to a conference in Vienna. She's studying her master's qualification in psychology, and she got to go to Vienna and attend this conference and had the most amazing experience. So that is an opportunity that a lot of our students will have. There are opportunities if you're wanting to get experience supporting our academics in labs or with their research. There are often opportunities for that for our students in certain departments. We have a very interdisciplinary approach to our teaching, so particularly our subjects within the arts and humanities and social sciences, there tends to be quite a lot of flexibility within the curriculum. So students have the optionality and flexibility to really shape their degree around what they're interested in and what's important to them. We run a preparation program throughout the summer months. It's short, and it's just designed to help prepare our postgraduate students for studying in the UK. It's totally optional. There's no obligation that you have to attend, and it's completely free as well. For some of our masters, we offer a January start. We don't offer a January start for all of our masters. We're slowly adding more courses that offer a January start, but it is possible to start the program, to start some of our courses, some of our masters in January. So I would say, if that's something of interest, to research whether or not you have the option to start in January, or it's only an October start that we offer. I should say that for PhD courses, there's much more flexibility, and there are 3 entry points for all of our PhD courses. And then the last thing to say about studying a master's at Essex is that for some of our courses, in curating data science and a master's in law specifically, we do offer the option to add a professional placement. So this would be an additional year that you can add to the master's, and it gives you the opportunity to get industry work experience for a year whilst you're still studying at the university or whilst you're still registered as a student. And then when you graduate from your qualification, you have the professional placement as part of that qualification that's on your transcript. So the professional placement, it would obviously cost you a bit more. It doesn't cost you the same as a full year's worth of tuition. I think it's around 40% of your tuition fees for the professional placement, but it's a really, really great option if you're wanting to get that industry experience that's guaranteed whilst you're studying a master's. So this is something that we're very, very proud of at Essex, and that's our reputation in our research. So Essex, if I just explain, we're a research-led university. So what that means is what our academics are researching is what our students are being taught. So everything that students are taught, it's relevant, it's topical, it's recent, and what we're really proud of is the fact that we're recognised for the quality of that research. I'm going to talk a little bit in more detail in terms of what we're known for and the subjects that we're known for, and in particular what our COLFUTURO beneficiaries have gone on to study. But one of the things that I wanted to say was that we're really well known as a university for our social sciences. So in particular, that is subjects like political science, international relations, economics, sociology. These tend to be the subjects, and government as well, that our university is consistently well ranked for. There are other subjects like law, for example, which technically isn't a social sciences. That is again a subject that we're very, very well known for. But generally speaking, as a faculty, it's social sciences that Essex is extremely well regarded. But it's not just social sciences. 83% of our research, which is an incredible achievement, is ranked or considered world leading or internationally excellent. So it's something we're very, very proud of at Essex, and you can explore our showcases and get to know more about some of our big case studies and the impact that we have in terms of our research. Just by sort of Googling, if you Google research at Essex, then I'm sure it will come up with some of the showcases that we're very well known for. So in terms of our faculties at Essex, we're split into three faculties. So we have our Faculty of Social Sciences, which I've mentioned, which includes our business school, it includes our Department of Government, Department of Economics, Department of Language and Linguistics, Sociology, and also our psychosocial and psychoanalytic studies are all within the Social Sciences faculty. And then we have our Faculty of Arts and Humanities, which includes subjects like philosophy, it includes film studies, creative writing. Our Essex Law School is also included within our humanities faculty, and yeah, many other subjects which you can see in front of you. And then our final faculty is our Faculty of Science and Health, and that includes our departments, psychology, computer science and electronic engineering, mathematics, statistics and actuarial science, health and social care, life sciences. So yeah, there's lots of different departments as well within the Faculty of Science and Health. And what you can see is some of the subjects within each of the faculties that we offer at Essex. So these are some of the subject areas that we're particularly proud of. I think I've mentioned most of these already, but these are just, now you can see in front of you that it's demonstrated by some of our some of our rankings and sort of world university or global rankings in front of you. So yeah, Essex Law School is in the top 50 world university rankings. As I mentioned, social sciences, which basically includes sociology, linguistics, business, economics as well. And then philosophy, which sits within our Faculty of Arts and Humanities. This is something I just wanted to highlight as well. So in terms of our academic requirements, all of our course web pages will have what our academic requirements are. Some of our courses have very subject specific requirements. If you're wanting to study a master's in, let me think of an example, cancer biology, for example, then you're going to have to have a background that's related to biological sciences, or certainly a STEM background. But what we do offer are some masters which are conversion courses. So for example, our applied data science and the artificial intelligence and its applications, and our data science and applications, all those three masters don't require for you to have an academic background in those subject areas. So if you wanted to change direction or study a course that's related to data science or artificial intelligence, then you could consider one of these master's degrees. So these are some of our popular COLFUTURO course choices within the last few years, and it's not too surprising that most sit within the departments that we have the strongest reputation for. So sociology, government, economics, law school, mathematics, the business school as well. It's not too surprising that the course choices that COLFUTURO applicants have been successful to are the ones that we have the highest ranking. So that is something to take into consideration if you're wanting to study at Essex and you're liking the look of this university. Okay, so a little bit about student life, because of course this is a really important thing if you're considering studying at a university in the UK. Aside from your course, there's a huge amount going on outside of the classroom, and this is something that we really encourage our students to get involved with. The students that I speak to from Latin America who are having the best experience are definitely those students that are joining societies, playing sports, getting involved with all of the extracurricular activities and opportunities that are going on outside of the classroom as well. So we were really proud to have been ranked 28th in England for overall student positivity, because what that tells us is that our students are having a positive experience studying at the university. We have so many different clubs and societies for students to join depending on your interests. I'm sure that there will be something for you. If you do play a sport at a competitive level, we offer the opportunity for students to try out for teams and compete. We were really, really proud that this year we got our highest ever ranking or achievement in the British universities and colleges university league, basically. So universities across the UK will compete against each other, and in our 60-year history we got the highest ever position. We were I think we were in the top 30, which for a university of a medium size of under 20,000 students, which was a massive achievement. So if you play sport at a competitive level, this is a good university to come and compete for. But of course, if you just play sport for fun and you want to join one of our societies because you want to try something new, then you can definitely do that as well. It's not just all about competing and winning, even though that's something the sports teams will take very seriously. It's a very vibrant community, and especially when at this time of year during the summer months, it feels quite quiet because a lot of our students are on vacation. or they finished for the academic year. But when students are on campus, it feels very, very vibrant and busy and buzzy, and it just has a really great energy. And there's so many activities, whether it's going to the theatre or the cinema, or one of our many hospitality outlets. There's a huge amount going on for students to get involved with. We guarantee housing as well, and I think I talk about that in a bit more detail shortly. But yeah, there are guaranteed accommodation options for students. So if you want to live on campus, then you can do that. And one of the great things about the university is we're constantly finding ways and spending money to make sure that the services and facilities that students have available to them are the best that they possibly can be. So, for example, we've recently finished building a brand new accommodation so that students have access to the best facilities. So, accommodation. What you'll find, generally speaking, in the UK is that it is self-catered and single occupancy. So you don't have to share a room, you have your own room that is usually in a block or a house or a building that you'll have a communal kitchen or shared living space with other people that are in the same flat or same house as you. So you have your own room. Some accommodation options will include a private bathroom. Some will have shared bathroom facilities. That usually dictates the price. So one of the great things at Essex is that we have lots and lots of options for our graduate students, depending on your preferences. So depending on how many people you would like to be living with, how centrally located you want to be on campus, depending on what your budget might be. There's different options to accommodate your preferences. And one of the things to say is that we keep our graduate students separate from undergraduate students. So don't worry, you're not going to be in a flat or in a shared living space with a high school student or an 18-year-old who is fresh out of high school. We keep the undergraduate students in their own accommodation. So yeah, you'll be with other graduate students. For international students, we guarantee housing. Usually the accommodation deadline is in August or September, so you have quite a long time to get your accommodation application in, and the fee is inclusive of everything. So one of the great things about living on campus is there's no hidden charges. The accommodation cost is inclusive of all your bills, all your furniture. Everything is included within that cost, including a gym membership. So on the Colchester campus, we've got a really great sports arena and gym facilities, which if you are a bit of a sports bunny and you like to go to the gym, it's good to know that is included with your accommodation contract. Of course, you don't have to live on campus. If you'd rather live off campus, then there are privately rented housing options available to you as well. What I would say is one of the advantages with living on campus is that everything is on your doorstep. So you really get a sense of like you're living in that mini city, and yeah, everything is just very accessible to you. So this is the bit where I get to talk about how international the university is, and easily my favourite thing about Essex. So we were recently ranked 15th for our international outlook in the Times Higher Education World University Rankings. It's not just our students who are from all over the world, it's our academic and department community as well. So you'll really get a sense that the world is in one place at Essex. I think that aside from the fact that you get to meet people who are from all over the world and start building your own like global network and making friends with people from completely different parts of the world to you, one of the best advantages to that is that you have the opportunity to learn from people who have completely different backgrounds and experiences to what you might have had living and growing up and perhaps spending most of your life in Colombia. So that in itself is such a valuable learning experience, and that's before your academics or your tutors or department have even taught you anything. So we have over 140 nationalities represented in Colchester. It's an amazing opportunity, as I already mentioned, for you to hop on a plane or a train or a coach and get to explore the rest of Europe as well. We are a gateway to Europe. And we have a wide range of cultural activities and societies on campus, including a Latin American society, which year after year after year, they're winning awards. I think this year they did actually win the best society for 2024, which I know some of the people who were in the committee were over the moon and so excited about. But it's such a great example of a society because they're always organizing events throughout. I follow them on social media. This is how I know this. They're always organizing events throughout the year, but they're also so inclusive you don't have to be from Latin America to be a part of the society. And they're also always organizing collaborative events with other societies. So it's just a very inclusive environment and great way if you're wanting to meet other students from your part of the world. So I think, onto employability. So I've already mentioned the opportunity if you wanted to add a professional placement year for some of our masters, which is a great option if you are career orientated, but it's not the only way. There's lots of ways that you can improve your employability and enhance your employability whilst you're studying at Essex. We run also all sorts of workshops and events throughout the year. We have a dedicated careers service, a careers centre that can provide you with bespoke support, whether that's supporting you with creating a CV, helping you prepare for an interview, helping you to find a job. They are there to support you whilst you're studying at the university, but they also provide support once you've graduated from the university as well. As an international student, your visa will permit you to work. So if you do want to get part-time work whilst you're studying, you're allowed to work for up to 20 hours a week, either on campus or off campus. If you're just wanting to earn a bit of money whilst you're studying, the university is actually a very good employer because it's very easy to get part-time work and fit that around your study schedule. But there are also opportunities for students to work off campus, whether that's in the nearest city in Colchester. There are all sorts of initiatives as well outside of the classroom if you're wanting to learn new skills. For example, we offer a Languages for All program, which is a completely free initiative. If you're wanting to learn a new language, then there is the opportunity to do that. And again, that's very easy to fit that around your study schedule. We offer the opportunity for students to learn skills in data science. It's actually designed for students who are not studying data science but want to upskill and gain knowledge in this area. There are often opportunities to get volunteering experience. A good example is within Essex Law School. We have our very own clinic, which gives legal advice to people that might be needing some support or needing legal advice. The public who might be in need of some support in that area. We have a dedicated Essex Law Clinic and a human rights clinic as well. And also for anyone that has an entrepreneurial spirit and wants to start their own business, we have this amazing scheme called Essex Startups, which you can basically bid for money and bid for support. So if you have a good business idea, then you can go to Essex Startups and pitch an idea, and they can help you with bringing that idea to life, but also in many cases giving you some money and helping you financially kickstart that idea. I've spoken to quite a few students. I can think of one off the top of my head who's from Mexico, who has gone to the Essex Startups at least a couple of times, and each time she's been successful. She doesn't study business, so it's not just for our business school students. It's for anyone who has that entrepreneurial spirit and wants to start their own business. So once you've completed your degree, if you then want to stay in the UK, as I've already mentioned, there is a visa which is called the graduate route. It is basically a post-study work visa. So once you've completed your master's or your PhD, if you then want to stay, you would submit a new application for this graduate route visa, and that will allow you to stay and look for work for up to 2 years. And like I say, if it's a PhD qualification that you've completed, you can stay for up to 3 years. It's an amazing visa because you don't have to have a job lined up at the point of applying for the visa, and there's no amount of time that you have to be in employment after you get the visa. Hopefully you get a job very, very quickly after you have the visa, but there's no pressure. So if it does take a bit longer for you to find a job, you know that you're not going to be kicked out, or there's not going to be any issues with you being able to stay in the UK. And then this is just to give you an idea of where some of our recent graduates from Essex have gone on to, and it's obviously quite a mixed bag in terms of industries, but just to give you an idea of some of these global companies that our graduates have gone on to work at. So quickly, I'll just mention some support at Essex, as well as employability. This is another area that we place lots and lots of importance on, which I mentioned right at the beginning. And there's so many different outlets that students can go to depending on who they feel comfortable speaking to. Every single student, when they study at Essex, will be assigned their own personal tutor. That is someone that you can speak to about your course. If you have any concerns, they would be very, very happy to hear from you. A lot of our academics, we operate an open door policy. So if students were to have any concerns, our academics want to hear from you. I think one of the things to understand, and this can take a bit of an adjustment, is that our departments and academics aren't going to come chasing you down the corridor. But if you need to speak to them, the door is open and they want to support and help you and for you to get the most out of their experience. I'm yet to speak to an academic at Essex who just doesn't want the best for our students. And then we have a student wellbeing and inclusivity service to support students who might be feeling homesick, or if they were suffering for whatever reason with their mental health, then we have a dedicated team who can support our students. And we run all sorts of activities throughout the year to support students with mindfulness and with their mental health. There's also financial support as well that we provide. So we provide support with students to budget and manage their money whilst they're studying with us. We have a dedicated doctor's surgery on our campus as well. So for students that might need to see a doctor or practitioner for whatever reason, it's very, very accessible. It's located on our Colchester campus. We have a multi-faith chaplaincy. It's a very, very safe campus as well. So it's 24-hour security. And then we have our dedicated students union. So every single UK university will have a students union. It's basically the student body. It's represented by students. They organise lots of our activities, our social clubs and societies and events on campus. As well as that, they offer completely independent advice and support. So if you didn't want to speak to your personal tutor, for whatever reason you didn't want to speak directly with the university, if you were in need of a bit of support, then you can go to our students union, and it's completely independent and confidential support as well. So on to some of the logistics in terms of the application process. So applications for October 2025 start will open very soon. I can't say exactly when. It's usually end of September, beginning of October that we open up our application portal. It's really easy to apply. It's online via the website that you can see in front of you. and it's basically an online form. You can choose up to 3 course choices. So if there's a couple of courses that you like the look of, you can apply to up to 3 in your one application. There's no fee. It doesn't cost you anything to apply. And once you've submitted the application, our admissions teams tend to take somewhere between 2 to 3 weeks to reply to applications, and you can track the response on your My Essex applicant portal. So there will be some documents that we need, and it does vary depending on the course that you're applying to study. We'll definitely need your most recent academic transcripts translated by a certified translator. So we'll need them in English. We'll need a personal statement, which is usually up to 500 words, telling us why you want to apply to study the course, why you want to study at Essex, and also why you want to study in the UK. But it's your opportunity to personalise the application and demonstrate your passion and enthusiasm for the course that you've applied to study. We'll need English language qualifications, but you don't necessarily need to give us that information at the point of application. So if you really wanted to get your application in, but you're planning to take an English language test in a few weeks or a few months, that's absolutely fine. We can just make you an offer that is conditional on the basis that you meet our English language requirements. Some of our courses, particularly within so our LLM, our Masters in Law, require a CV. So some of our courses do require that, but it's a limited number. Not all of our courses require that. You will see in the entry requirements if a CV is required, but also if you were to submit an application and we needed a CV, it's fine. And if you haven't submitted it when you apply, then we'll just ask you for that retrospectively. And it's the same for references. Most of our courses don't need a reference. If we do need you to provide us with that, we can always ask for that retrospectively. So really the most important thing is that you complete the application form, you provide us with your academic transcripts, and you provide us with the personal statement. Everything else we can just ask for at a later stage. So in terms of tuition fees, these are the fees for 2025 entry. So most of our masters, you're looking at fees that are just under 23 to around £23,500. For our research courses, so that includes our PhDs, it's a little bit less. So just under 20 to just to around £22,500 per year. So for the postgraduate talk, for the masters, the fee that you're seeing in front of you, that's most likely going to be the total cost because they're just 1 year in length. The course cost varies depending on the subject, but each of our course web pages will show you what the fee is per year for 2025 entry. So you can see exactly what the cost is for the course on each of our web pages. Now for COLFUTURO beneficiaries, we offer an automatic 25% discount off your fees, which is one of our most generous scholarships. And on top of that, we have one full tuition fee waiver. So one beneficiary is eligible for a discount that is worth 100% off a 100% discount off of your tuition fees, which is an amazing discount, and not many students, many international students have the opportunity to get this kind of discount. So just one important thing to say is that the discount excludes our courses that are part of our East 15 acting school. So that's just a really important point to add. If you are applying to a course that's within our East 15 acting school, you can get funding, but you wouldn't be able to get the discount. And then in terms of cost of living, on our website, which is linked, which you can see, we have some really helpful information that breaks down all the other associated costs with studying in the UK. So things like accommodation. Aside from your tuition, your housing and accommodation is going to be the next biggest expense, but then it also breaks down costs in terms of study materials, an estimated cost in terms of social life, shopping, travel. So it's a very helpful tool to get an idea of what your living costs would be aside from tuition. But one thing to say about Essex is we're in the south of the UK, which generally speaking is the more expensive half of the country. But given that we're so close to London, you do notice such a big difference in living costs just being that 1 hour outside of the city. And there are ways, if you're organised, and you take your time doing research and going to places where there are student deals, there are definitely ways where you can be sensible and careful with your money and how you spend it. So I would say the cost of living. I mean, I was in the States. I was in Boston not too long ago, and I could not believe how expensive it is. So when you're comparing the UK to other cities, perhaps in the United States, it's a dramatic difference in the cost of living, just as an example. So in terms of our academic entry requirements, most of our courses at Essex, we ask for a 3.5 in your undergraduate degree from Columbia. And like I said, some of our courses do have subject-specific requirements. We try to be as clear as possible about this on our course web pages, but if anyone was to have any questions or wanted clarity on what the requirements are for a specific program, please just get in contact with me directly and I can help clarify that perhaps before you put in an application if that's something you're worried about. And then, as I mentioned, our English language requirements do vary. The IELTS exam is the most common English language test that we find students taking, but we do accept other English language tests such as TOEFL, Cambridge Advanced, Cambridge Proficiency, Pearson, PTE. So there are other English language tests that we can accept, but IELTS is the most common. Again, if you wanted me to clarify what the equivalent requirement is for a different English language test, please just get in contact and I can explain that or look into that for you. Cool. So hopefully I haven't been talking too long and there's plenty of time for questions. I'll just leave this screen up for a second so you can take a note of the email address. I will pick up emails if you email our Americas inbox directly. So please, if you do have questions, don't hesitate to contact me. And if you want to keep in contact, you can scan that QR code as well.
Okay, Emma, thank you very much for all the information that you have given us. I'm sure that this is so valuable to all of us. So now we are here we have some questions for you. Carolina asks, since almost every master program lasts 1 year, the university offers the opportunity to do an internship and last longer?
Yes, so very often there are opportunities to get work experience or internships whilst you're studying. So during the 12 months, it's possible to get experience, and often they can be paid work experience during the 12-month period. If you wanted to stay beyond the 12 months, then you could look at applying for the graduate route visa. But I mean, I can think of a few examples. So we have a scheme at Essex called Essex Interns, where different departments across the university will employ students to support them in whatever it might be. So for me, last year we had 2 Essex interns who were international students. One was from Sri Lanka, one was from Brazil, and they helped us with student recruitment activities. So they helped us with creating marketing campaigns, social media campaigns, speaking with prospective students who were thinking about coming to study at the university. The student from Brazil helped me coordinate an amazing webinar series with 2 of our departments. So there are, and just to say, that's just 2 examples. There's lots and lots of Essex interns across different departments at the university. So there are definitely opportunities to get internship experiences whilst you're during the 12-month period. We also have Essex Abroad, who are a department at Essex who help facilitate international opportunities. And there are internship opportunities for students that want to do something internationally. Obviously, you have to get this confirmed with your department, but there are those opportunities for sure.
Perfect, Emma. Thank you so much. Carlos asks, what is the cost of living in London? And if you can give us an average.
Yes, okay, so this was a good question. I wonder, Carlos, if you asked me this question before I was speaking about the cost of living. So this is a question that I get asked a lot. And it's a really difficult question to answer because, of course, it depends on your lifestyle preferences. So you might have two students who are studying the same course, but the amount that they're spending outside of their tuition could be completely different because they could be living in different housing. So, for example, the cheapest accommodation at Essex starts at just over £100 per week. And then the most expensive are our studio flats, which are over £200 a week. So that's more than double. So yeah, the housing is going to be as I said, the housing is the next biggest expense. But the great thing about the campus is that we have different options depending on your budget and depending on how much you want to spend. And then in terms of everything else, it really depends on you. If you're going out to expensive restaurants, if you're traveling every other weekend to another European city, then you're probably going to be spending more than a student who's going to Tesco or the local supermarket and buying all their groceries to shop to make their own food, for example, in their kitchen or living area where they're living. So it really does depend. But I think the UK government says that for a university outside of London, the estimated cost of living is just over £1,000 per month. So that's what the UK government estimates. I think you could be looking somewhere between £1,100 to £1,300 realistically.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So Jeffer asks to you, what is the academic load in general to study master's degree?
What is the academic
Load.
the academic,
Like, I don't know, like I mean, how many classes in the week or hours per week?
oh, okay, like the timetable, I guess. So this is going to vary quite a lot depending on the program, but most master students are probably going to be in classes. So you will have a combination of seminars and lectures, and then potentially tutorials or one-to-one meetings with your dissertation supervisor. So it actually changes quite a lot throughout the year. In the first academic term, that's probably when you're going to have the most amount of classes, and then it sort of gets gradually less, particularly over the summer where you're basically just doing your major research project. But on average, you're probably looking at being in classes somewhere between 10 to 14 hours per week, and then the rest of your time is independent study. So there's an awful lot of timetabling that's going to be sort of up to you, I guess. But generally speaking, you'll have four different modules or 4 different classes per term, and then for each one you'll have a series of seminar classes and a series of lectures. And then depending on the course really determines how you're going to be assessed as well. So some courses will have more traditional exams, some might just be 100% coursework. So it does vary quite a bit depending on the program.
Okay, thank you so much.
I hope that answers the question.
Okay. Carlos also asks, what are the specific requirements for the master in data science? And do they have to take the GMAT or GRE test?
No, so there's no further test that you have to take. And for most of our courses, there's no interview either. Some courses require an interview, but it's not many of them. It's usually our health and social care courses where there's an interview element. But for most of our courses, there's no further testing. So we would, for example, for data science, we would ask for a 3.5 in your undergraduate degree from Columbia as a minimum, and then and it would need to be to study data science, you'd need to really have a background in mathematics, statistics, or data science. But if you don't have a background in data science and you wanted to study data science, then this is where you can look at a master's in applied data science or data science and its applications, where the entry requirements are much more flexible.
Perfect. Well, here we have Natalia asks if are application fee waiver available for international students?
Sorry, Karen, say that question again.
Are application fee waiver available for international students?
So the fees that I had on my screen, I've just realized I can go back to the screen actually. So these tuition fees on this screen are fees for international students. And we do have different scholarships. So for example, you can see our scholarships that we offer in partnership alongside COLFUTURO. We do have other scholarships, I'll be honest. The other scholarships, most of them, they are not as generous as this scholarship, but you can look at alternative scholarships. What you can't do, I'm sorry to say, is stack scholarships. So let's say you were eligible for the 25% discount with COLFUTURO, but we had also awarded you our academic excellence scholarship, which is worth a £4,000 discount. What you can't do is have both scholarships, but the COLFUTURO scholarship is going to be worth more, so we'll give you the scholarship that's worth the most in that instance. So yeah, I hope that answers your question about fees. But yeah, the fees that I've listed here, so the postgraduate taught courses, these are the fees for international students.
Aquí tengo que hacer una aclaración. Obviamente las preguntas que tengan acerca de Colfuturo y el tema de la beca también en relación la pueden hacer al correo de yo soy futuro @colfuturo.org, y las preguntas que tengan acerca de cualquier beca o descuento que tengas directamente en la universidad, en este caso de Essex, la pueden hacer a los contactos que ya Emma nos está presentando. So to conclude, thank you very much, Emma, for all the information provided, for your time, for your disposition. This session is so valuable for our Colombian students, and I would like to ask you to give a final advice or recommendation for attendees.
Yes, I would love to. I hope to everyone that attended, they found this session useful and it's got you excited about the prospect of studying in the UK and hopefully at Essex. I've just popped a link, in the chat. I hoped I would have time to show this video, but I don't. But it's a really good video which gives you a sense of what the campus is like, and I've put my email address in the chat as well. I guess my advice is take time to do your research. Please don't hesitate to get in contact with me if there is more information that you want to know about, or if you want me to try and put you in contact with a student who is from Colombia, then I would be very happy to do that. I'll be honest, as much as I love talking about the university and presenting it as an option to people like you, to prospective students like yourselves, the best people to speak to are definitely current students who are either studying a course that you're interested in or from your part of the world, to give you a sense of what it's really like to study at Essex. So if that's something you would benefit from, or you would like me to help facilitate or organise, then please just let me know. I'd be very happy to help with that.
Okay, Emma, thank you so much again, and we hope to see you in the next opportunity.
Thank you.
A todos los asistentes, muchas gracias por su participación y por su interés en las sesiones informativas, en este caso con la Universidad de Essex. Les recordamos a todos que este mes estaremos llevando a cabo muchas otras sesiones con universidades de convenio en el Reino Unido e Irlanda. Hasta pronto.